Today we're taking a look at these UFC Vegas 35 matches, which are happening on Saturday, August 28, 2021, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 270 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting advice that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks and advice. Mana Martinez vs Guido Canetti. Mana Martinez is not as competent as a wrestler, as he scores a takedown 0.50 times per 3 rounds. Martinez is getting his opponent to the mat on 20% of his tries and stopping 70% of takedowns his opponents have tried. Canetti is finishing his takedowns on 50% of his takedown attempts and is stopping 75% of all takedowns attempted by his opposition. In terms of submissions, Martinez is the more capable fighter by trying 6.3 subs per 15 minutes, while Canetti looks to get 0.3 subs per 15 min. Mana Boy Martinez will be looking to add a victory to his total of 8-2-0. The 25-year-old records a weight of 135 pounds and measures 5'10". The orthodox fighter reaches 70. Guido Ninja Canetti measures 5'6" and weighs in at 135 pounds. The southpaw fighter holds a mark of 8'6". The 41-year-old extends his reach 68. My betting advice is to pick Mana Martinez. Aldrich vs Vanessa Demopoulos. Aldrich is the better grappler as she takes her opponents to the mat 0.80 times per 3 RDS. Aldrich is finishing her takedown attempts on 40% of the times she tries and stopping 57% of all takedown attempts. Demopoulos is getting her opponent to the mat on 30% of the takedowns she tries and is stuffing 30% of the attempts against her. Aldrich went up against Courtney Casey and ended up getting the win by split decision in round 3. Casey ended up landing 121 of 202 total strikes that she let go in that fight. Aldrich ended the night having landed 58 of 99 total strikes. In the significant strikes category, Casey landed 55 of 131, giving her a percentage of 41%. My betting advice is to pick Aldrich. Jamal Emmers vs Pat Sabatini. Jamal Emmers is the more capable grappler as he takes his opponents to the mat 2.90 times per 3 RDS. Emmers is taking his opponents to the canvas on 53% of the times he tries and defending 70% of all takedown attempts. In the last fight for Pat Sabatini, he squared up with Tristan Connolly and wound up getting the victory by way of unanimous decision in round 3. My betting advice is to pick Pat Sabatini. Kevin Lee vs Daniel Rodriguez. Kevin Lee is the more productive grappler as he takes his opponents to the canvas 3.21 times per 3 RDS. Lee is finishing his takedown attempts on 43% of his attempts and is stopping 75% of all takedowns attempted by his opposition. Rodriguez is taking his opponents down on 55% of the takedowns he attempts and defending 83% of the attempts against him. My betting advice is to pick Daniel Rodriguez. Makhmud Muradov vs Gerald Meerschaert. Makhmud Muradov is not as competent as a wrestler as he takes his opponents to the mat 0.36 times per 15 minutes. Muradov is getting his opponent to the mat on 16% of the times he tries and thwarting 80% of takedowns his opponents have attempted. Meerschaert is scoring a takedown on 43% of the takedowns he attempts and is stuffing 43% of all takedowns attempted on him. Regarding going for the sub, Muradov is the lesser skilled of the two fighters by trying 0.4 finishes per 3 rounds, while Meerschaert attempts 1.8 finishes per 15 minutes. Makhmud Muradov holds a career record of 25-6-0. The 31-year-old weighs 185 pounds and comes in at 6'2". The orthodox fighter has a reach of 75. Gerald GM3 Meerschaert measures 6'1" and records a weight of 185 pounds. The southpaw fighter steps into the cage holding a mark of 32-14-0. The 33-year-old has a wingspan of 77. In the category of significant strikes, Makhmud Muradov connects on 5.32 per minute, while Gerald Meerschaert connects on 3.31 significant strikes per min. Muradov lands 42% of the significant strikes he attempts, while Meerschaert connects on 43%. In terms of defending themselves, Mach allows 2.92 significant strikes per min, and GM3 allows 3.60. Muradov also stops 64% of the significant strikes that are directed at him, while Meerschaert is able to curb 51% of the shots thrown his way. My betting advice is to pick Makhmud Muradov. Quick reminder, you can get 125% cashback bonus on your first deposit on our partner sportsbook BetUS after you open an account using our link down below and use our promo code HIGHSTAKES when making your deposit. Sam Alvey vs Wellington Turman. Sam Alvey squared up with Julian Marquez and wound up walking away in defeat via rear naked choke in round 2. Marquez ended up landing 62 of 101 total strikes attempted in that fight. Alvey ended the night having landed 29 of 78 total strikes. When talking about significant strikes, Marquez landed 61 of 100, which means his percentage was 61%. He landed 46 of 78 significant strikes directed at the head. On the other side of the octagon, Alvey landed 37% of the significant strikes he threw by landing 29 of 78. My betting advice is to pick Wellington Turman. Dustin Jacoby vs Darren Stewart. Dustin Jacoby squared up with Ion Cutelaba and ended up in a draw by way of split decision in round 3. Cutelaba landed 111 of 201 total strikes that he let go in that fight. Jacoby ended the night having landed 100 of 164 total strikes. In the significant strikes category, Cutelaba landed 71 of 152, giving him a percentage of 46%. He landed 62 of 139 significant strikes directed at the head. Statistically, Jacoby landed 56% of his significant strikes by connecting on 84 of 148. In terms of accuracy for the significant strikes, he was 67 of 130 aimed at the head. 61% of the significant strikes landed by Cutelaba and 95% of them connected on by Jacoby were thrown at distance. Dustin Jacoby is not as effective of a wrestler as he is able to score a takedown 0.36 times per 15 minutes. Jacoby is finishing his takedown attempts on 50% of his tries and stopping 61% of all takedown tries against him. Stewart is taking his opponents to the mat on 41% of the takedowns he tries and defending 67% of the tries against him. Regarding going for the sub, Jacoby is the more able fighter by trying 0.5 finishes per 3 RDS, while Stewart goes for 0.1 finishes per 3 RDS. My betting advice is to pick Dustin Jacoby. Edson Barboza vs Giga Chikadze. Edson Barboza fought Shane Burgos and ended up getting the win by a punch to the head in round 3. Burgos ended up landing 80 of 180 total strikes that he let go. Barboza ended the night having landed 98 of 191 total strikes. When it comes to significant strikes, Burgos landed 80 of 180, which gave him a rate of 44%. He ended up landing 41 of 131 significant strikes aimed at the head. On the other side, Barboza ended up landing 51% of his significant strikes by connecting on 98 of 191. In regard to the placement of these significant strikes, he landed 51 of 134 pointed at the head. 100% of the significant strikes landed by Burgos and 97% of them landed by Barboza were done at a distance. My betting advice is to pick Edson Barboza. Good luck to all of you. That's it for this video. Stay tuned and stay safe for the next betting tips and advice.